everyone, I'm TFC328 here, and it's not about what you do differently, it's about what you do well. Boy, I haven't said that one in a while, haven't I? I've been watching a lot of Atop the Fourth Wall lately, and that certainly inspired me to do a review of a comic book. But which one? I've said before that I want to look into the Bionicle comics, specifically the first few Ignition issues, since that's the series I grew up with. But I figured if I was going to do that, I might as well get warmed up on a smaller comic, one I actually currently own. Which brings me to my surprisingly large collection of toy tie-in comics. Actually, they're just official comics repackaged with certain toys, from select issues of classic Marvel stories like Secret Wars and Infinity Gauntlet included in certain Marvel Universe 2-packs, to select issues from IDW's run on Transformers comics included with most deluxe toys from the thrilling 30th anniversary celebration that happened a few years back. In fact, all of these comics are either Transformers or Marvel. With one exception. Linkara himself might be hesitant to review Sonic comics due to his relative disinterest in the franchise, but I'm not. Let's read Sonic Universe #1 and see if it's worthy of tying in with the only official figure of fan-favorite Blaze the Cat. Our cover is odd, mainly since it's just a featureless vastness of space with the major characters we'll be seeing in this issue, and Sonic as Sir not appearing in this comic, aside from some flashback scenes. That's all this cover conveys to us, so unless you're familiar with them, it may not grab your attention. Our issue begins in the middle of the ocean. Control! Whoa! Enough of this! I have had it with these motherfucking Metal Sonics on this motherfucking ocean. As it turns out, Shadow and Metal Sonic have been battling across multiple worlds, and Shadow tries reaching out to Metal by playing the not-so-different card on him. He's rewarded with boot to the head.
And one for Jenny in the wind.
Shadow recovers and finds himself in the company of Blaze and Marine the Raccoon aboard the Ocean Tornado from Sonic Rush Adventure. Shadow and Blaze catch up with each other by explaining both the events that led Shadow here, and the events of the Rush games to explain how she knows who Sonic is. Then Marine adds in her take on the ending of Rush Adventure, presented in these hilariously childish drawings. Neither of her crewmates are impressed. That's something I should mention. Marine the Raccoon is one of the more despised characters in the series, thanks to her bratty behavior and generally being a big nuisance to her allies. The only reason she's not on par with the likes of Big the Cat, Princess Elise, or Omochao is simply because she's only been in one significantly overlooked title, and she actually gets a talking down to near the end courtesy of Blaze, implying that the writers knew she was getting on people's nerves, so her annoyance is most likely intentional, unlike the other three. In this comic, however, writer Ian Flynn manages to make her childish personality surprisingly endearing and an effective source of comic relief, though she still makes some major mistakes in judgment since she is still a kid at the end of the day. Anyways, they return to Southern Island, as they call it, but everything's in flames and the Koala Captain reaches Blaze in a panic. I'm sure you fought bravely. Is it Whiskers' crew? Whiskers? Isn't he called Whisker? Yeah, he's called that in the official game. Why add the extra S? They made the same exact mistake earlier in the recap of Rush Adventure. Doing a quick bit of research shows this is an error exclusive to this issue, and he is still Whisker in the rest of the comic's run. With that in mind, it's a very strange detail to repeatedly slip by the editors. No, something worse! It keeps demanding to see a doctor, but we don't know who! And the very next panel has Metal Sonic clearly telling them he's looking for Robotnik. I can understand not recognizing the name, but why didn't he tell her the name in case her dimension hopping gave her the knowledge of who it is? There is no reason Metal Sonic would withhold the name in his prior interrogations. It does nothing but hinder his progress. Also, gotta love the drawing of Shadow in the background here. It's kinda like when a 3D character model switches to a low poly model in the distance. Anyway, Blaze engages Metal in a fight. Monster! I'll tear you apart! You don't belong in this world! By the way, very happy Richter Belmont joined Smash Ultimate. He was always my favorite Belmont. And he kicks her ass. Shadow lends a hand in the fight, but so does Marine, which Metal uses to his advantage. Being able to handle two of the series' most powerful and capable combatants, while another one nags at his head with minimal trouble, shows exactly why Metal Sonic is Robotnik's greatest creation. If he had developed more creations like this, he'd actually have Eggman Land by now. Well, for more than one game anyway. Ugh, it doesn't have to be this way, Metal Sonic. Standing here, I realize you were just like me, trying to make history. Shadow still tries to reason with Metal with the not-so-different card, but Metal throws that rhetoric back in his face. This unit's function is to serve Dr. Robotnik. Both living weapons, both operating to achieve their function. You are not different. You simply have an opposing function. This unit must destroy you. You must destroy this unit. And then Shadow does just that, with the help of Blaze and, interestingly, Marine, who gets the final blow. Nah, I still stand by what I said about Metal. However, Shadow's pissed at her since Metal had a dimensional engine, which was the only way Shadow was going to get back home. That must also mean she damaged the engine in the process, since knocking Metal out might have disabled the engine. So how is Shadow going to make use of it then? Wait until Metal reactivated and force him to use it? Since you blew it up, perhaps you could build me a boat as you did Tails?
See, it was more like he built it and I oversaw development?
And Shadow makes the funniest pissed off faces I've seen him make.
I have no joke for this. These panels are pure gold.
Blaze gives Shadow the Chaos Emerald Sonic left with her to help find the Sol Emeralds, since she's already got a few of those, so it was only appropriate to give it back by letting Shadow use it to Chaos Control back home. Shadow thanks Blaze and does so, returning to Gun headquarters where we see a character I don't recognize, Hope Kintobor, and considering that's Robotnik spelled backwards, I assume she's related to him somehow. Maybe she's Omelette. And the Gun commander from Out of the Edge, now named Abraham Tower. Abraham Tower. Look, I get why he's named that, but to me, that sounds like a name you give to a Solid as Snake stand-in for a Metal Gear Solid 2 parody. And so our comic ends with Shadow reporting to Abe and Hope about what he's gone through. Good job, Agent Shadow. Rest up. Your next mission departs tonight. And it may or may not involve giant transforming robots. I found that there's this off-panel side story that sets up a Knuckles arc that won't occur until issue 9, but my copy doesn't include that. Just ads for more Jazzwares Sonic toys and the Archie Comics digital app to finish reading this story arc. Anyway, this comic is pretty good, actually. The artwork is solid, if a little wonky in places, the writing is engaging and keeps us up to speed enough for those just tuning in, the action's solid, and I admit that I'm a sucker to see a story with my 3 favorite Sonic characters at once. My only issue, aside from the aforementioned occasionally wonky art, which even then there are some oddities that I find endearing, is the odd misspelling of Captain Whisker. I know it's incredibly minor, but it still fascinates me how something like that slipped past the editors. And more than once at that. Otherwise, a good read that I can recommend. I'm Transformers Fanaco 328, and maybe the figure 2-pack should have been Shadow and Blaze. I would have appreciated that, especially since my Shadow figure is kind of falling apart.
Life starts with a sunny day. Let's feel our ocean breath. We are cruising overseas. Can't wait for a new adventure. La 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 la. A new adventure. La 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 la. A new adventure. La la. A new adventure. La la.
Die, monster! You don't belong in this world! It was not by my hand that I am once again given flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute. Tribute? You steal men's souls and make them your slaves! Perhaps the same could be said of all religions. Your words are as empty as your soul. Mankind ill needs a savior such as you. What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. Have at you.